Hi, my name is Brian Baudoin, one of the directors of youth ministries here with the Blaze Youth in Bryan College Station, here to give you 5 tips for engaging disengaged parents in your youth ministry. If you're like me or many other youth ministers, you've been to conferences, you've been reading articles the past few years, there's been a lot of emphasis placed on parent ministry. In youth ministry, we don't walk alone, we walk with these parents. But if you're also like me, you've also encountered frustrations in dealing with parents. You put a lot of effort into youth nights for seemingly not a lot of return from some parents who may only contact you when it's time to complain, if at all. I understand the frustration, and that's why I'm here to give you some tips for engaging those parents that you're finding frustrations with. If I go back and tell my 23-year-old self any advice when I started youth ministry, it's that, listen, Brian, these kids have a savior and his name isn't Brian. You don't have to do it alone. And if you're a youth minister out there, I want you to hear that loud and clear. You don't have to do this alone. But the first thing you need to do, tip 1, is recognize the need. You as a youth minister have to say those words to yourself that you are not these kids' savior, and recognize the need to walk with these parents in their journey of forming their kids. These parents were in their child's life long before you got there, and they're gonna be there long after. The second tip, once you recognize the need, is that you have to understand that for the rest of the parish, reaching out to parents starts with you. If you don't cast the vision or signal the importance of reaching out to parents, no one else will. And so in your conversations with your core teams, with your pastors, with engaged parents, with people in the community, it starts with you. You have to be the one sounding the bell, ringing the alarm, and casting the vision for why it's important to connect with parents, why it's important to reach out to disengaged parents, and how you're going to do this. You're also going to need to lead from the front. That might mean shaking hands and greeting people as parents drop off. It might mean going to sports games. It might mean making those phone calls to parents that aren't there. But it starts with you. Like, people will only go as high as you're willing to lead them. Like in your leadership and youth ministry reaching parents, it's no different. Third tip, create on-ramps, not barriers. When you look at your youth ministry, it's easy to blame parents for not wanting to be involved. But you have to ask yourself as a youth minister, am I creating on-ramps that are easy access into our ministry? Or am I creating barriers? So maybe first thing to look at is, how am I communicating with parents? Is my communication on time? Am I thinking of every way I can reach parents? Am I using social media? Am I using apps like Flocknote? Are we sending weekly emails? Are we in the bulletin? Are we being announced from the pulpit? Another thing to think about is, what are the things that you already have you use to reach the parents? Many of us have to use registration forms. So why not on the registration form, just put little boxes and say, are you willing to volunteer with these areas in youth ministry? If people check yes, reach out to those parents. Many of us have to do yearly parent meetings where we explain what the vision is for the upcoming year for our parents. At that parent meeting, use it strategically to create a culture of involvement. At that parent meeting, instead of a sign-up sheet, have a volunteer sheet and say, this is your sign-in, and have list all the ways that parents can volunteer with your ministry, and say, your attendance being here is filling out this sheet. If parents see other parents doing it, and they see it's an expectation part of their culture, they'll respond. They do this for soccer, they do this for sports. When the expectation is set in things that you are already using, parents respond. No one wants to be the only one volunteering and to be stuck with more responsibilities than they volunteered for. And the last thing you have to think about in creating on-ramps is that not every single volunteer has to be a weekly small group leader. For some parents, they didn't grow up catechizing their faith and they're struggling raising their kids in their faith. For some parents, they don't have all the skills necessary to be a great small group leader. But there are a lot of parents who might be good with organizing forums you don't want to organize. There might be great parents who are willing to drive or to do shopping for you. Imagine as a youth minister, how much time you would get back in your week if you never had to do any shopping ever again. So when you are advertising volunteer positions at these meetings or in your advertisements, think, am I giving more opportunities than just weekly small group meetings of volunteering? Because for someone, they may start only volunteering a little bit, but it doesn't mean they'll stay there. That could be their on-ramp into being one of your best core team members you've ever had. Fourth thing is outreach. If parents are disengaged, they're not coming to you. If they were coming to you, then they wouldn't be a disengaged parent. Outreach means going to the community events, finding things that are important in their kids' lives, And you'd be surprised what amazing conversations can happen over the course of a 3-hour football game when you take time to go on a Friday night. Also, consider that you're not only equipping these children in their faith, you're also equipping their parents. So why not have a parent equipping night? Bring in a psychologist or an expert speaker to your parent, provide childcare, and tell the parents, hey, we're gonna give you advice for parenting your child for free. Come here on this night, we'll provide childcare, and we will walk alongside you with your youth. Like, reach out to them in their needs. And finally, parents are sometimes your best advocate for reaching other parents. If you've ever wanted to go see a movie, think about this. You may have really enjoyed the trailer or the promotional materials for the movie, but what's the best reason you've ever had to go see a movie? It's most likely your friends. It's most likely your friends saying, hey, that movie was amazing. You don't want to miss out on this. You should go see that movie. The hype that's built for the movie comes from the fans of the movie. In the same way, if parents truly are seeing their children's lives being transformed in the ministry, they're going to want to tell other parents about it. So equip them to do that. Show these parents through media, through questions you send home, any way you can, show the parish and these parents what successes you are having at these youth nights. Give these parents talking points. Let them know what's happening with the youth as best as you can. Those parents will tell other parents. And if disengaged parents hear other parents talking about the amazing influence the youth ministry has had on the child's lives, they will want to be involved, I promise you. You want to find those parents who are the movers and shakers and influence in your parish. The ones who are sitting on the pastoral council or the altar society or in the Knights of Columbus, the ones that have the ear of other people in the parish. Because if they are your biggest advocate, I promise you, they can connect with some parents that you will never be able to connect with as well. And you may even want to consider starting a parent board. Now, we have a blog with Next Level Ministry about how to start a parent board. I would encourage you to go check it out. But the basis of a parent board is that it's a group of parents who function like pastoral council and once a month meet with you to give you feedback on how the ministry is doing in your parish, how parents are receiving things, and how ideas for youth ministry will be received by the parents. This road isn't easy, and connecting with parents can be hard. But I promise you, if you follow these tips and you make an effort this year in your ministry to reach out to disengaged parents, you'll produce more fruit than you ever have before in your ministry. I'm praying for you, we're here to support you, and hope you have a blessed day.